was the first Tennessean to receive formal training as an architect. Well, this man's from Murray County, and we can see some of his designs as far as New York City's Park Avenue. We're heading to Columbia, Tennessee to see this architect's designs. Some of Tennessee's best-known buildings are the work of one man, John Edwin Ruthven Carpenter, born and raised in Murray County, where samples of his work remain today.
And he designed the courthouse. Beautiful building, and it, you know, it's over and over again in newspaper polls here in town. It's always selected as Columbia's favorite building.
The Murray County Courthouse was designed in 1904. It was to be a gift from the people of Columbia to future generations. The grand architecture and generous budget for the project reflect the prosperity of the day, thanks to the discovery of valuable phosphate in the county.
Money was flowing into the county, things were good, business was good, everybody had a job, some had 2 jobs, and they wanted to leave something to the future. They asked James Carpenter to do it.
Not far off the Murray County Square is the Columbia Arsenal, Carpenter's earliest work. The sturdy stone buildings now house a school. Carpenter was the first Tennessean to receive formal training as an architect. He studied at UT Knoxville and MIT, and later at the L'École des Beaux-Arts in Paris, France. Carpenter maintained an office in Nashville. In 1903, he designed the city's second skyscraper. The Stallman was the first building in Nashville to have modern elevators. While the structure is currently being converted into upscale residential lofts, developers have carefully preserved the Stallman's unique facade. In 1905, Carpenter was commissioned in the rebuilding of Kirkland Hall on campus at Vanderbilt University, following a fire that gutted the landmark. Between 1908 and 1910, Carpenter turned his attention to designing Nashville's Hermitage Hotel.
It was Nashville's first $1 million hotel. So this hotel was built by Nashvillians, for Nashvillians, and so this was really a big deal for all of Nashville. And this area of the city was actually more of a residential area than it is today. So people would meet together after work, after visiting Capitol Hill that day. So this was really kind of a meeting spot for everybody in Nashville to say, meet me at the Hermitage and we'll have a drink in the Oak Bar, or meet me at the Hermitage for my daughter's wedding reception. And today, those traditions still exist.
The Hermitage was state-of-the-art, steel framing covered with terracotta details, handcrafted on-site by artisans. The skylight was imported from Italy. The hotel is a grand example of Carpenter's preference for the Beaux-Arts, an architectural style incorporating classic stone with columns and other ornamental embellishments. Carpenter's design allowed for beauty as well as function, evident here in the inclusion of this small window in the hotel's famous Oak Bar.
When the hotel opened, the Oak Bar did not allow women to visit. So ladies would put their drink order through this little window that still exists today, and then have their drinks sort of slid back to them as they went to the veranda to have their drinks.
While Edwin Carpenter thought of almost everything in the design of the Hermitage, there was one circumstance he could not foresee: a future visit by Gene Autry and his horse, which gave the Hermitage the reputation as Nashville's first pet-friendly hotel.
The horse actually stayed in the hotel on the 4th floor, and there was a bellman who was in charge of taking care of that horse. It was his job to take the horse out and walk him, to feed him every day, and he's come back and actually told us his story.
In 1980, the Hermitage underwent a massive renovation in which the guest rooms were gutted to make room for modern hotel conveniences. But Carpenter's most distinctive design details were painstakingly preserved. Though his Tennessee buildings are familiar and well-loved, most people have never heard of Edwin Carpenter.
He's almost forgotten by local folks. You know, a few of us have known about him, but of course most of his important work took place far from here in New York City.
In his later years, Carpenter lived and worked in New York City. He is the architect behind at least 44 high-rise apartment buildings along the famous Park Avenue.
He built all those high-rise apartments. And when I say apartments, I'm not talking about what we think of as apartments now. You look at the floor plans of these places, they were incredibly swanky. This was where the Manhattan elite hung their hats and lived, and the floor plans are just breathtaking.
Carpenter died of a heart attack at the age of 65. Over 75 years later, Edwin Carpenter's legacy lives on in Tennessee. You can get all the fascinating stories of Tennessee treasures in a magazine. With colorful pages and unique photos, you'll experience the treasures of the state in print. Packed with trivia and extra information, you'll discover the little-known facts about Tennessee's history, arts, entertainment, sports, general trivia, and geography. Order your subscription by visiting TennesseeTreasures.net. Just $18 plus shipping and handling.